Alright, we're back. It seems it's loaded, so we can actually get going.
Okay, mate, I'm here.
Great stuff. Welcome, John. Welcome to the stream as well. And everybody else, thank you, guys. So this is P3D. I was just sitting here thinking, waiting for the load up. Everything except the ground handling that you saw in the previous stream, and obviously the flight simulator itself, is free. I tried to work out, I'm getting too close to about $200/euro cost, input cost, on top of the simulator in order for us to do this flight. So that's the first very big difference between the two flights, is obviously the actual physical financial cost. You can't do and have this flight that we're about to do for under approximately $200, because you're talking $20 to $30 per scenery, you're talking $130 for the aircraft. I can't even remember what Active Sky cost, and then there's all the other Rex and other add-ons I'm using. So anyway, let that sink in for a little while.
Believe it or not, that was probably one of the major things that made me change over to XP. Not totally, don't get me wrong. XP to me wipes the floor with P3D. But when I suddenly, I did everything back to front. I invested in P3D and then looked at XP. What I should have done was done it the other way around and saved myself an absolute fortune. P3D to me is just I mean, you and I have had a discussion anyway with regards to the differences between P3D and XP. They're a totally different platform and for a completely totally different market. We're flight simmers, they're more aimed at the professional, etc. But the cost implication to guys like us is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think I said to you last night, just for the hell of it, I'm going to reload P3D. Guess what? I changed my email address some months ago because of spam. I registered on my old email address, which I've completely closed down, have no more access to. So I've had to send a support ticket off to P3D to get my details back so I can re-download my software.
Gotcha.
No idea if they work the weekend. Probably not. So I'll have to probably wait till Monday.
You'll have to. At least Monday or Tuesday. So I'm using exactly the same OFP. I'm using exactly the same loads. I'm using exactly everything the same.
Gotcha. And we're going to use checklists.
Yeah, it's here next to me. I'm not going to make that mistake again.
And what goes on in the cockpit stays in the cockpit.
Unless it goes on YouTube like now.
Well, nobody else can hear you and I, can they?
Oh yes, everybody can. You are live on the stream.
Oh my God. I'm glad you warned me.
Good morning, Ali. Welcome. Glad to see you here.
I need to link my air rack to the Avi tab. There's a little program, isn't there, to do that?
Yeah, it's not the AirRack, it's the Navigraph. Just check on my YouTube channel. There's the video that became one of the official videos is on there. You'll see how to link them.
Yeah, we'll do.
I love the scenery. I mean, I think I paid 25 or 30 euro for it yesterday. Because when I started thinking of doing this flight, I realized I don't have proper scenery in P3D. So I bought this one and the Porto one. And between them it was 50 or 60 euro. But it's good, it's really nice. And the AI that you see here, this is Ultimate Traffic Live. The weather is active sky.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree that it's nice scenery and everything else. It's a lot of money just for one little bit of scenery.
Well, we want to compare apples with apples, so to speak. So, I mean, TDG made the scenery for LPPT for free, which is anytime as good as this, that you saw earlier on the previous stream. And I can't remember who made the one for Porto. It could even be TDG as well. But, I mean, it's all free. Anyway, let's get off that topic. It's not necessary to dwell on that too long. I'm just checking the ground services that the guys get going.
I actually did this flight myself yesterday morning, you know.
Okay, cool.
The weather was filthy on arrival.
Yeah, it was fun. And I flew this in the dark last night twice.
So I noticed. Tell you what, my electric bill hasn't half shot up since I've got this new PC.
Well, George, that's what we have. It's not the question so much of professional or not. That's the way the simulation is written. So you either do it that way or you stay home kind of a thing, which is the knife against the throat. You know, you've just got to live with it. And now it's prompting me to close those doors. Man, this thing is slippery. You just touch it and it runs.
I am here.
Good. I'm just concentrating.
Yeah, you do that. I'm just doing a bit of washing up in the kitchen while I'm waiting.
Chop. Okay, I don't have GSX version 2, so there's no physical people walking about, but one day.
Hello. Thank you. I'm right next to her. Thank you. I'm right next to her. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you.
Andile, that is part of my OFP. I'll show you now. This comes from SimBrief. So when I do my pre-flight planning in SimBrief and print out my operational flight plan, everything is there. Let me scroll through quickly, show you. Obviously there's your cost index, there's the winds, the average winds at cruise level. We've got our ISA at cruise level. There's the actual trip fuel, tells us we're going to be airborne 37 minutes, that's 1.872 tons. That we're going to need our reserves will give us 45 minutes in the air, and it's 1.762 tons. Our total endurance for the flight is 2 hours and 12 minutes. That means we use all the fuel that we have, and the block fuel that we load is 6,192 kilograms, basically 6.2 tons. In the OFP it also shows us the actual routing. It tells us we're going to use runway 03, the SID, the actual flight route, then the star, the destination, and the runway that is in use. Over here it also gives us the payload, so you can see we've got 174 packs and we've got 2 tons of cargo, giving us 20.2 tons of payload. There's our fuel, that's the takeoff weight. I use a little program called Topcat at this point in time. I've got Toper and I've got QSIM Planner as well. That works out my assumed temperature for me, and this is where I get the basic information coupled with the weather to do that. Over here we've got the actual ATC flight plan, so we are expecting 415 nautical mile cruise speed at flight level 260, and just again, that's the flight plan. And on this page we've actually got the weather. Now this is about an hour and a half old, so we're not too concerned about that.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback. Locking gear. Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
You're still offline?
I'm not offline anyway, I'm busy going.
Sorry, I've just got the screen up. I wasn't sure whether you were doing the setup on.
No, I'm busy. You can just press Control and F5 on your browser if you need to refresh the stream. But I'm ready to push.
Confirm Control F5.
Yes.
Yeah, still got a blank screen. Twitch, YouTube.
No, you need to go to the YouTube channel. Hold on, let me give you that link.
Release parking brakes.
I'm popping it into Messenger for you quick.
Thank you.
Yeah, please tell me when you get it.
Online.
Yeah, please tell me. Excellent.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Hope he stops in time.
Set parking brakes.
Gee whiz. Just. Yeah, this out was pushing and pushing and pushing.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Hello Tony, how are you?
Left is
What
clear.
about the aircraft to
Right
the
is
left
clear.
of you, Nico? Where does he go if the guy pushes him?
No, well, he'll have to wait for me, eh?
No, I know that, but he's not supposed for him to go. He, like, you nearly stopped. You
Yeah.
nearly never.
No. What they will probably do is not give him the full pushback. They'll probably do a 45-degree pushback or something. Or, let me just go outside quick. George, what they will probably do is they'll push him in the opposite direction. So, because of the limited space, his tail is going to go to the right. So, he's going to go towards the runway, and then he's going to taxi out this way again. Probably, that's just in my mind, but I don't know. That just makes sense. Alright, let me get back on track then. Let's see. Laps 5 green light, and all the lights almost set. TARA is on. It will go to TA because we are taxiing on the ground, and that should be it. Busy Lisbon today. I think I'm gonna just block the AI traffic quickly, otherwise we're going to sit here for a while. There we go, so let's get going. Clear left, clear right. Left.
That's queue jumping.
Clear. Oh, I'm not gonna sit and wait here all day. I keep on losing my auto throttle. So guys, don't complain about the Zebo losing auto throttle again. It happens in PMDG as well. I see my two throttle levers were not synchronized. The one was just a little bit in front of the others. So there we go, now it's working.
V1. V1. Rotate. V2.
Well, this time I've got control over the yoke. That was so funny earlier. Weird. Hey Dylan, yes, yeah, you made it. Okay, now the one thing that I'm waiting for Zebo to implement is this. In our dear Zebo mod, we still cannot do this. So now we've activated max angle, maxed rate climb, which means that this aircraft will climb at the maximum capable feet per minute rate. In a short flight like this, it will be really cool to have it implemented in Zebo. I know it's being planned, so don't worry about it, it's coming, but I'm just mentioning it to you guys now. Yeah, this is where I miss my tablet now. Now I want to click buttons and do things and keep myself busy, and now it's not here. I've grown so used to the Zebo, it's not funny. Hi Grant, sorry, I see your message now. Hello again. Now you guys can see the difference in the climb rate that we set to max rate compared to not having that function. Look at the distance between top of the climb and top of descent that we have now, just because we climbed out faster. That's not a bad livery, eh? That'll make a nice Windows background.
Yeah, for XP.
Yeah. Did you see that X splasher utility that I posted on the Zivo group?
Yes, I did.
Every time I start my explain up, I've got a different splash screen. It's so amazing. So I pick my best screenshots and then I go pop it in there. But I'm gonna feel weird putting a P3D screenshot in explain. I probably won't do that, but this is good for my desktop background.
I was being facetious.
I know you were joking. Alright, so let's look at the descent prep now. Cool, and there's our descent happening. I noticed when I landed in Explain just now, I never used the speed brake at all during the descent until almost at the end, and then I must have pressed the wrong button because I thought I pressed number 3, so number 4 obviously extended the thing again, so I landed with it up, but we'll try and not be silly this time and look out for that.
Checklist.
To make sure we don't have any ILS interference with frequencies. There should not be because there is no ILS, but just want to make sure we don't have issues. So this is where we are at now, and passing 235 it seems, flight level 235, so yeah, on our way home. Amazing how much longer the flight feels because we actually had a cruise part, you know, built in. That other flight felt very fast because there was no cruise section in it, eh, John?
Yeah, but you say that feature's coming to Zeebo anyway.
Yeah, it will. It will. That's like a standard feature, but the guys are working on the basics first. That's what we discussed last week. We need to get some basics done. I see they've made huge improvements on the Great Circle problem. I was doing a test flight in America the other day and I took 700 nautical mile jumps between some of the waypoints and the aircraft stayed on the magenta line, so that's all good news. You know, that was important. That was a big problem. So one step at a time, eh? You'll check in another year, you won't recognize that aircraft. It's going to be so good. You'll check in another year.
Progress.
Yeah.
Is literally moving in leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Tell you what, this is now my second flight in 2 days with this PMDG, and I've got thousands of hours on this airplane. This, you know, PMDG model since FS9, FSX, now P3D. There's nothing wrong with this one. I mean, it flies lacquer. It's a nice machine. It does its job. I can't fault it. It's really much of a muchness whether you fly this one or the other one. In my mind, I prefer the other one because I get a much better immersive experience. The immersion is better in X-Plane. So I still prefer going the Zeebo route. But while I've got the investment going in P3D, I think I must actually make a plan to fly this one more, you know, because I'm losing out on the thrill of it.
You're right. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. You do realise the stream is stuck.
Negative. It's not. My stream is pumping perfect. Press your F5 again.
Well, is that what I've got to do? Do the
Yeah.
Control F5?
Yeah. I'm actually
Correct. That's
Yeah.
strange. That it was cycling through, trying to get back to it. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
back on board now.
Cool, cool. Grant, I'll have to draw up a list. I made a list in Explain that is already available, but the one in P3D, I haven't made a list of all the mods that I use. If you stick around, we can talk about it after the flight, because I use quite a few mods. Silly question, but are you talking about the mods for P3D or the mods for Explain? Because that's easy enough to give you. Okay, Grant, in the stream, as you are watching now, go into the description section at the bottom and then look for my PC and sim specs. There's a link. If you go there, you will get to my OneDrive folder that contains all the mods and the whole list of everything that I use for Explain, as well as the PC specs. It's just in the description below the video. See, now when I look at this section of the flight, PMDG is doing exactly what the Zebo did, or the Zebo is doing exactly what the PMDG does. It's slightly slower than where the speed bug is. I don't need to use the speed brake. So the performance in this area is exactly the same. You can go compare the videos. There's no difference. Not at this point. Good morning, Alex. Yes, sir. Yeah, this doesn't look bad at all. You'll have to watch both videos when I'm done to get the proper look and feel. But so far so good. I'm enjoying P3D for a change now.
Careful.
Don?
Yes, sir.
No, I was just saying, why are you saying careful?
I'm a dedicated XP guy.
We all are. We all are. But let's just be fair, okay? While we are here, we'll not say anything bad about P3D. Morian, Alex, the reason I like flying Porto and Lisbon is it's a short flight and I can choose between RNAV and ILS. It's a good flight in terms of length and excitement. If you combine everything, you can you can learn everything that you really need to do to enjoy the flight simulator just between these two airports. So without boring somebody, you know, with a 2-3 hour flight somewhere else, I just prefer the the short and the nice flight, you know, and then go through all the motions while everybody is still interested. Yeah, a 7-hour flight, Alex, is not for me. And in terms of the stream, you'll find you start with 20 people and then you end up with 1. And they might come back or they might not come back. Streaming long flights is not on. It doesn't work. We need excitement. We need something to keep us going in the stream. I see you like Geneva, Zurich. Yeah, that's a good one. Very good one. Another short flight that I really also like is MY NN to MYGF. That's also, it's like, 25 minutes up and down, and you can do everything you need to do. Good training flights. Oh no goodness, I'm not going to do a barrel roll now. You funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that's like Joburg to Cape Town or Cape Town to Joburg. It's the stream is going to be probably 2.5 hours, but the actual flight time is only 1.5, so it's obviously a bit longer then.
Two and a half is long enough.
Yeah. If you're doing training, John, like you and I discussed last night, I mean the Mario training video, that's about 3 hours. You can't really concentrate well enough beyond that. This is intense stuff, so it might be worthwhile breaking it up into 2 or 3 sections or sessions, if you want to call it that. Because if you really get into training this thing, I mean, real world guys don't learn it in a Saturday morning. It takes time, so it's good for an overview, but not longer than 3 hours. Then it's also not sinking in.
I've had a bit more of a thought on our conversation of last night, what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
I'll have words with you later.
Sure. Yeah, Alex. Grant 3 hours is, but if you take into account we're sitting talking about other stuff now, the actual training is about, I would say, 1.5 hours, and then it's the flight and the debriefing, that's the other 1.5 hours. So that's where the 3 hours come from. If you look on my YouTube channel, you'll see the Mario training video there, and you can go time it. That gives you the gist of it in about 3 hours. That also depends on how much the other guy actually knows, what his experience is, how far his knowledge goes, because it might mean that you have to do 3 or 4 or more sessions to get everything in, but you've got to start somewhere at least. Yeah, Alex, well, go for it. Exactly. Exactly. By the way, my YouTube stream is set up with the DVR function, so you can pause it, you can play it, you can rewind it, you can do a whole bunch of things with this one, which you can't do on the Twitch stream, but this one, the DVR is actually working. So it's concentration time now. Yeah, Alex, I'll try to take it easy. Don't worry. We'll see. Grant, if you have SimBrief and something like little nav map, you've got more than enough to start off for free. To buy Navigraph and all the other fancy stuff in the beginning might help, but it's going to cost money, so it all depends on you.
SimBrief has to be a yes.
Yeah, you start with SimBrief and what did I say? A little nav map, and that's for free. So the only thing in SimBrief that you pay for is just the air rack, but you should be able to get away with not paying in the beginning.
I wouldn't be without air rack.
No, me neither. You take my Navigraph away now, I'll cry, I promise you.
That makes two of us.
And this is where we are at now. You check the map come up just now. See, that's Navigraph and that costs money. See, now we're going to have to make this plane dive. Come on. There we go, it's picked up on the descent. Okay, on the glide slope. Phew. When I changed over to the QNH, it was a bit high. Got a bit worried. Gear down, flaps 15. It's a bit early. Sorry, I only noticed we're 10 miles, just over 10 miles, but it's fine. And we're in the milk, eh? I mean, I can see nothing. Okay, so speed brakes off and on now.
2500.
Absolutely, I agree with that statement. Of course, yes. I want to actually try auto for XP now in P3D as well. I see there's a tutorial for that floating around, but when I've got time, don't have time right now.
Approaching minimums. Minimums. $100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Oh my goodness, that was a floater. Yes, my control seems to be much more sensitive in P3D, so the slightest movement makes the nose rise a little bit, unfortunately. I still need to find the really good balance. Ooh, that's not a taxiway, hold on. Definitely not a taxiway. Let's go and go to the end and backtrack. Most flight simmers don't realize how hard you slam a 737-800 down in real world sometimes. Everybody's hung up about this foot per minute landing speed and everything, but in real world there's nothing that measures it, and if you have to put it down, you have to put it down, because if you land outside the box like I did now, and you're on the wrong runway for that maneuver, you're gonna end up in the mud on the other side. There's gonna be a huge problem. Yeah, if you do this on a short runway, you're dead. Or in the mud, something like that. You always have to land in the box. That is probably the most important thing with a 737-800. If you don't land in the appropriate place, it's a go around. Alex, if you are familiar with an aircraft, you can really land it like a kiss, never mind a bee that stings. Exactly. The virtual airlines are the reason why people are hung up about landing rates, because if it goes over 500 or 600, they reject the buy rep and nonsense like that. But yeah, because as long as you don't bend the struts and the nonsense inside the aircraft, if you don't bend the landing gear and it's reusable, it's a good landing. Yep. Sorry, I'm reading all the messages now. I'm taxiing left, right, left, right. And here's the taxiway now. Thank you, Andile. I noticed your comment now. No, that was not a bad landing.
Grabbing coffee, Nick.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally different physics at play in X-Plane. It takes time getting used to that, and now having flown these two flights in P3D, I can tell you one thing, it's going to take me some time to get used to landing this plane again. Okay. The controls are not the same, the sensitivity is not the same. That's obviously hardware, that's not the sim physics and stuff, but I need to find my happy place with P3D again. So far so good. I mean, it works, but I'm not happy. Okay, well, that doesn't help. I didn't have any proper recording software for the flight, so I can't even do a proper replay. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. This is obviously now the P3D flight. The previous one was X-Plane. I hope it gave you a different perspective on the two, and I hope if you really go and nitpick and so on, that you'll see there's a couple of differences, but it's nothing to fight about, so enjoy both. That's my opinion. If you've got the money, get both and just enjoy them for what they are. You can obviously select the one that makes you feel more fuzzy in your heart for a certain reason, and you can obviously choose between missions which one will suit it best. But you can enjoy both, really, you can. They are very different, and you've got to respect that, and you've got to treat them appropriately. That's the bottom line. It's in my mind very difficult to compare them because it's just not the same thing. So anyway, that's my opinion, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. If I stream again, it will probably be on Twitch, not on YouTube. So we'll see you there. Thanks for being here, and thanks for enjoying the flight with me. Bye bye.
Thank you, Nico.
Big pleasure, John. Thank you, Alex.